First leg of the six-up race number 5. We've got 3 horses making their debuts as well. Fantasy was able to win on debut. Danny Shin, Blake Shin, barrier 2 for him, who's favourite as well. Warlord gets the pacifier and the cows on. He's first up since April. Sorry, he was course and distance running. He's first up since his second start, which is also in April. We got there in the end. Gorgeous Inheritor, undefeated, and Exponential are the debutants there. Methane, David Price, Alexi Bedell. Blink of a Second's had a break as well, first up since February. Smiling Success gets the blinkers on for the first time, and the show is a 3-time winner over this trip. They've all been at Happy Valley. Legendary Hero and Smiling Success are the 2 horses that have been up at Chung Fa in the last 30 days.
Speed here should be good for this contest. Fantasy was able to sit up outside the leader on his debut and to win that occasion, and Smiling Success, outside leader in his last run. He's got blinkers on first time, and he has won a trial up at Chung Fa. Warlord, he's coming into this off the back of at least 5 trials since his last start. Colorado High was disappointing last start. Then you've got the newcomers. They're probably going to receive a wide run. Gorgeous Inheritor, Exponential. Undefeated actually has some good speed, so he should be fairly forward in this race, I think.
First we're going to have a look at is the unbeaten Fantasy, well-named Fantasy, by Sizzling this horse. So he's on the inside there with Craig Starr. Goes nicely enough, seems to have come on from that win. Blake Shin from barrier number 2 for him. So that's him in the blue saddlecloth. Power King, he ran well on debut as well, second behind Fantasy. He's got barrier 13, but gets back anyway, so he'll be one running on. I think he did race reasonably handy on debut, but I've been running him back in the trials and stuff. And undefeated, the next one, you can see he's under a really good hold as he comes back. Jack Wong aboard, one of the first starters here. He's had the 2 trials. Blinkers will go on him. He did wear blinkers in one of his trials down in Australia, but he hasn't worn them here. He's 12.35 pounds.
All right, undefeated he is at the moment. We'll find out if he is at about 2:15 on Saturday. We'll start off with the last start winner, Fantasy, and Blake Shin.
Blake, Fantasy, what were your thoughts on his debut win?
Oh, look, I thought he'd done a great job, Ed. He did everything right leading into that race, and he put it together on race day, which isn't easy to do sometimes for a first starter, but he's a very professional horse, and I thought he did a good job. He showed tremendous courage there late to fight off a Power King, and yeah, it was a good debut, and hopefully he can put it together again on Sunday.
He's had about a month between runs. You've ridden him in a trial since then, beat his stablemate Simply the Best, who looks a pretty handy horse. Has he improved, would you say, since that first up run?
Yes, I think he has. As you say, he's had a bit of a time between runs. He had a trial at Sha Tin, and I thought his trial was particularly good. Yes, naturally horses do come on from their first start, and he's done that, and he's improved in fitness. He's quite a gross type of horse, takes a bit of work, and the trial, I asked him to do a bit in the trial without bottoming him out, and yeah, he did everything I wanted him to, and I think he's going to prove hard to beat on the weekend.
All right, plenty of confidence there from Blake regarding Fantasy. It's not always easy for them second up with the extra weight in the back, so to go in again.
Yeah, look, Power King gets 3 pounds from him this time as well. And I thought Power King was just about to grab him on the line as well. The horse did hold on nicely. That 3 pounds could be all the difference.
It potentially could, because he had a real lunge right on the line, did Power King. He's mapped to go a long way back, but he was fairly forward last time out. He's got gate number 13, so that poses a little bit of a question mark over him and that extra weight with Fantasy. Nothing wrong with his first up win, though, and he has trialled well. It looks like, as Blake said, he has improved.
Yeah, and Tony Cruz and Karis Teaton absolutely flying at the moment. So he'd be a brave man to leave him out of the top 4. Colorado King, we go back 2 starts for him. I thought this was pretty impressive. I thought he'd improve over the 14 last time, but he didn't. But this is his win.
He had excuses last time out, came back with blood in the track here. He was right in the market at 5.4, but he looked quite a nice horse when winning with Joe Moreira on board over Majestic Conqueror. He did win quite easily, but excuses last time out. I contemplated putting him in the top 4, but I've just decided to leave him out this time.
He just snuck in for me, Colorado High, because he just maps so well. He gets barrier 3. He's going to be there. So if he's good enough, he's going to have his opportunity.
Lovely big horse as well. A lot of scope about Colorado High. Warlords. Now, he was able to win first up as well, much like Fantasy. Second up, though, didn't. He's first up since April last season.
Geez, when he did win that one, he was 3 or 4 wide the whole way, and it was a really good, tough win from him. Now, he's put on 55 pounds, which is a lot of weight for this horse, but he looks okay for it. His track work looks good, so I'm thinking it's a good thing. Well, Jenny might tell me different on race day, but what I've seen, he looks okay. Joe Moreira aboard, and as long as he can slot in, I think he's a major player.
Pacifiers with cows go on board this time round. He's had 6 trials since he did win 2, or he had 6 trials since his last run, I should say, and that first up win was enormous, really.
All right, here are the debutants. Undefeated, a 4-year-old by Seamus Award out of a Zabeel mare.
Yeah, he's actually got some speed. You can see him there in the blue colours with the purpley pink stars there. Vincent Ho on board in the blue and white cap. He wasn't asked to do too much. He was being held together. He's a horse that does have some speed, but look, I'd be happy to watch him go first up. He'd come here with 4 trials out of Australia as well.
Yeah, 2 trials here and 12.35 pounds. He's quite a big horse, so I haven't got him in.
The horse winning that trial was Classic Unicorn. Will be a big player in a Class 3 sprint later on. Exponential?
Yeah, like he's had 3 trials. He's 11.35 pounds. He's going to have the cross noseband on for the first time. He's drawn wide in 14, so again, happy to watch him go around.
Yep, same here. You can see him being pushed out a little bit going towards the line in this recent trial. Crossover noseband first time. He was a $55,000 English yearling. He also had 4 trials in Australia, mainly at Cranbourne and Stony Creek.
All right. Gorgeous Inheritors, the other debutant. We're looking at Smiling's success, though, now, has been last on his 2 starts this season. They switched the cheek pieces for the blinkers.
I looked at this horse a couple of times. I haven't put him in because he's drawn well, and I thought the blinkers might have just sort of sharpened him up a little bit. One piece of track work hasn't been too bad from him as well. So, look, cheek pieces, as you mentioned, are coming off him as well, and he hit the line nicely. I didn't put him in because I thought there was a few more legitimate chances in front of him, but if he did win, I wouldn't be surprised.
He did lead 3 runs ago when he did run 5th, and he is mapped to lead here potentially with the blinkers on from gate number 1. Trial was okay.
Yeah.
All right, fantasy favourite though, Paul, to go in again.
Yeah, look, I thought there was 5 main chances in this race. I'm going to stick with Methane. Look, he's been at Happy Valley for both his starts. His first run when he drew low was really, really good, and then he was wide the whole time in the C+3 course and got a little bit lost, to be honest. This would be his 3rd start now here at Sha Tin from barrier 6. I'm going to give him a chance. Warlord, look, I like what I've seen from him this season as well. So he goes in there for 2nd. He's fresh up on the track, I mean, not on the actual races because he hasn't raced. And there for 3rd, I tossed up the next 3, Power King, Colorado High, Fantasy. Didn't have much between them. I went Power King because of the weight and Colorado High because of where he's going to be in the run. And there was no place for Fantasy to come up favourite, but it's one of those races. I had to leave something out. I left him out. 8-2-4-3.
Opted to go with 2 Warlord. His first up run was enormous, covered a lot of ground and still held on by a nose. And then last time he had excuses when he was in the market with blood in the trachea. He's had plenty of trials since he's put on some weight. Pacifiers with the cows and Joe Moreira John's side. So 2 to beat 1 Fantasy. Good win first up. Trialled nicely since. More weight this time round though. Power King nearly got him last start. And Methane goes in for David Ferraris and Alexi Bedell, who teamed up on Wednesday night with Bear again. He battled on fairly last time out. First time Sha Tin for him. So 2, 1, 4 and 8.
Yeah, we're working around the same sort of numbers. I agree with Paul. I think the top 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 8 Methane, but I got Methane on top as well. I think the big track will suit him here at Sha Tin in the first leg of the 6 up. That was race number 5.